Okay, I'll just give a small brief as to what ACCA is. We have discussed also, but for the benefit of our two new brothers, I'll just discuss that in very short. But I got a video, I will share that video, so you all will have an understanding in detail, which we have recorded in the morning. As ACCA, Association of Certified Chartered Accountants. That is the full form of this qualification. This has 3 levels. We call it fundamental levels. And then we have skill level. And then we have professional level. Fundamental level, there are 3 subjects. This is what we are currently planning to study. Skill level, we have 6 subjects. Next level, you go like this. You finish these 3 subjects, then you go to skill level. Then you finish this 6 subjects, then you go here. You have to do 4 subjects out of 6. Meaning, 2 subjects compulsory. Yani, daruri. 2 subjects out of 4 optional. Meaning, you have 4 subjects, you choose 2. So if you calculate 2 plus 2, 4, plus 6, 10, plus 3, 13. Total 13 subjects. So in that, we are now planning looking at these 3 subjects. These 3 subjects here, one subject FA, in short we call it F3. This is what we will study now. Another subject MA, F2, another subject BT, F1. Today or now, inshallah, we will look into this. This is the very basic information, and a detailed discussion which happened this morning. I have a recorded video. I will share with you all, so you will go through that. And if you have any doubt or question, please ask me. You all can ask me in our office time also. Okay? Right. Now, we will go to our accounting. See, any accounting lecture, the very first topic we need to study something called balance sheet equation. Balance sheet equation. Balance sheet is misalnya. So we need to understand how we develop this, how it's developed from the very basic. That we're going to study at this moment. So the first balance sheet equation I will write here: asset is equal to capital. Now the question is, all of you understood what the meaning of this word and what the meaning of this word. That's what that's what currently I want all of you to understand. Now what about you? You understood what is asset?
الأصول صح كده يا جسر؟ الأصول.
And others, you okay? And what about capital? Capital is a رأس المال, صح?
No.
So the asset, when I start my business, I don't have a friend or a bank or a third party who will help me to start my business. I need to put my own money. Let me see only this much I have. So I need to put this money in starting my business. So all the asset, what are the examples for asset? This chair is asset, this table is asset, this tab is an asset, this TV is an asset, that tripod is an asset, this cupboard, all this. This building itself is an asset. But who brought this? This asset brought by whom? The owner of the business. The owner who brought all this. Now, whatever the asset brought to the business by the owner is known as capital. Now, let's write down, please. Asset. We will define asset. I will write here asset resources, you can see here, okay? Resources are available in the business and which
You have more than.
you want pen? Well, available in the business which are owned and or used by the business. This is the definition. Now, if someone wanted to know what the meaning of an asset, we define like this. Assets are resources. In economics, when you study the resources, there are 4 types of resources in economics. Can someone tell me what are those 4 types? You have land, you have labor, you have equity, entrepreneurs, and then capital. These are the 4 different categories of resources as per economics, not as per accounting. So, when you say land, when you pick the word land, land means everything. Under the land, whatever you see here, all are land. For this building, if you don't have the land, can I have this building? No. So, this building also an example of land. This laptop, if I don't have this land, we won't be here, then no one can produce this laptop. So, the laptop also land. That tripod also land. This cupboard also land as per economics. So, resources. Whatever the resources under that 2 inverted commas are available in the business. Now, I have a car in my home. Can I call that as an asset for my business? No, it should be available in my business or any given business. And which are owned, underline this word, sometimes some of the assets we will be the owners. Most of the time we will be the owners. This table, that cupboard, the owner of this premises, he brought. So he is the owner. So this is an asset for him. Why? He is owning it. But also I used another word here, and or used. Sometimes you may not be the owner, but you are this, when I say you, I meant the business. This business may not be the owner for that asset, but they are using it for the purpose of running the business. Let's say that business has purchased a plant. This plant is purchased on lease from a leasing company. So, the company didn't pay full money outright. They are paying an installment for next 10 years, 5 years, like that. But now, the company is using a machine. So, machine is sitting in our premises, we are using it, we are getting the benefit. And if the machine falls into any damage, who should repair? We should repair. And who should insure this? We should insure. So in this understanding, even that particular resources still not owned by us, yet if we are using it, and I will add another word here, that word, controlling it. More than using, you should be able to control. Who is having the remote? Is very important question. Whether now in my garage, Lamborghini is parked. Can I take a selfie and say that this car is my car? No, no point. The car key is with someone else, next door man. So he is the one who is controlling the car. So it's not about the ownership, it's about who is controlling it. So therefore, the resources are assets are resources available in the business, which must be owned by the business and used or controlled by the business. Understood? Right? Baha?
Yes, okay.
Okay. Now example. Can we write example? Lot of example we can think for asset. I will start with land, building, motor vehicle, plant, furniture. Now what about this type of assets? Receivable. Is an asset or not?
Yes. Yes.
Cash, inventory. That also part of assets. Understand me? So you have inventory, you have receivables, you have cash. Very important, serious asset is cash. People are crying and dying for that. So these are the list of assets that
What's meaning is this MEV?
Inventory is stocks.
No, MEV. The fourth brand.
Motor vehicle.
So
Motor vehicle. I have written in short. Motor vehicle. This one is building. Land, building, motor vehicle, plant, furniture, inventory, receivable, cash. So all of these are examples for assets. Okay, now let's define this one. Capital. Forget to discuss one or another. Yeah, okay. After this, I will discuss that.
Related process. Related process.
So related to this concept, I need to discuss that, but I will discuss after capital. Right. Now let's say we have a pot, and in this pot we find a lot of assets. All these examples what we brought. Question is, who brought this? If any of the assets or resources brought to the business by the owner, what you call that? You call it capital. Most of the time, we in our mindset, most of the time what we understand is capital is only the money the owner brings. But it is not the case. Owner can also bring a vehicle, a furniture, a table, a cupboard. He can bring a cupboard from his home. Then that also part of his capital. So let's write down resources introduced to the business by the owner is known as capital. Now, if you toss a coin, you may either will have a tail or head. But whether you see the tail or head, the value of the coin, will it change or same?
Same.
It will be same now. So that's the same story here. So whether the one side is asset or the other side is capital, if the asset total is 1,000, what must be the capital then? It should be 1,000. Clear? Is that clear? Yes, sir? Yes. So that is exactly what we wanted to understand. So very first accounting equation is this. All your accounting development from this. But before this, I should discuss with you something called accounting concepts. Now what I try to mean concept is accounting concept. What I try to mean concept is, let's say this is my beautiful house. Baha, see my drawing, huh? This is my beautiful house. But in this house, when you see this house, See, outside, when someone sees this diagram, they see the roof, they see the wall, they see the door. But in this building, is there anything that we don't see but is still part of the building?
Yeah, there's something inside.
What is that? No, yeah. That is when you open the door you can see. But even you go inside the house, but still, after going inside also, is there anything which is available along with this building which we don't see? What is that?
The land.
Land you can see. Outside the garden you will see. But to have the house, to complete the house,
Backside.
yeah, backside you will open the window, you will see.
The work put on it to build this one.
Brother, for you to have this house, this building, something you need to build which you don't see. What is that?
Materials?
Labor.
No, something you need to build, a part of the building. If you don't build that, you
Foundation.
can't- foundation. Foundation you need to build. Any building, any house. Now maybe this building, maybe the foundation can be this height. I don't know. But do we see this? As a small children, when you bring into this building, if you tell him, my baby, you see there is a foundation like this, maybe the children may not believe. Don't tell him, no, don't joke with me, Dada. Something like that they may say. So same story with accounting. Whatever the accounting what you call materials we study, the basic is the concept. That is same like foundation for a building. We need to study that. The very first foundation or the concept, principle is business entity concept. This is the first concept that any accounting student should study. Business entity concept. Now what do you mean by this? Okay, let's take an example. I am running a small grocery. I am the owner. I introduced 5,000 real, opened up a shop. I am running this shop for 2 years. After 2 years, the business is not that good. I need to close the business. After closing the business, things that is available inside, I will leave in the business or I will take it back. Some grocery materials may be there, 1 or 2 tables can be there, cash register will be there. What do you think? I should keep it everything and go, or I will take it?
I will take.
I will take it because these are belong to whom? To the owner. So any item that he brings to the business is belong to the owner. That is you need to understand very clearly. So, but the moment he brings this 5,000, I introduce how much? 5,000. So this 5,000 is something like a loan given to the business by whom? Owner. So that's why we call it capital. Later when we study debit and credit, we write capital is a credit. Why? Liability also? Credit. So this is also a liability. Understand me? Later we will study that. But now the point what I am trying to say, so I have given 5,000 to the business. Then me, Muhammad Ashik Khan, and this Bakala, Ashik Khan grocery, let's say. Is it 1 or 2?
1.
What do you think?
So Ashikan is different, grocery is different.
That's what I wanted to ask you. Is it me and grocery same or 2 different personalities?
2 different persons.
2 different personalities. Me, a natural person. I have life. I am a living creature. I speak, I talk, I walk, I eat, I sleep, and I do so on and so forth. But this business is not like a living creature, but it is an artificial entity. You know what the meaning of artificial word? Not natural. You understand what I said?
Explain this entity.
See, artificial entity means artificial person, not entity, artificial person. Natural person, you understand, like me, you,
I understand.
so we have life. So this organization, ACCA and Grocery, don't have life.
Oh, yeah.
Okay? Lakin, same like a person, a business person. Is a business entity, business creator, business personality. We call it natural personality, that is artificial personality. So two different entity. So when we develop our accounting, we try to say that all the accounting transactions. That's why, you know, from a family point of view, you come to work in the morning 8 o'clock. You go at home, let's say 5 p.m. or 6 p.m. When you finish work, you go home. Will you be carry forward all the problem in the business to go home and you continue the problem with your family? If you do that, what will happen? In 1 month or 2 months, you will end up divorce. Right or not? So your business matters, you finish it within the business time. You go home, that's a separate life is there. So owner and the business are two different personality. Okay? So owner is natural person, business is artificial person. So let's write it down. The owner and the business are two different and distinct personal. This is okay. This is the first accounting concept. We will study so many different accounting concepts. This is the first one. From this only we developed this equation, by the way. This equation came because of that concept. Otherwise, I won't be segregating that. See, it's same like now. If we think it is one and only, then I have no point of segregating that as asset and this as capital. Now we say that this is asset is equal to capital. And but you understood what is asset now? Everyone clear? Baha, you understood?
Yes.
Yes, sir, okay? You all okay? Right. Capital? Clear? Capital is what? The hustle mark. Introduced by owner. In the form of asset. Any form of asset. One major form of asset, the owner brings what? Cash. Cash in bank and cash in hand. But in addition to that, he may also bring motor vehicle, he will bring land, he will bring anything. So any type of asset he brings to the business, we call it capital. Clear? Okay. Now we will. Now I am going to what we call. We'll do one example. Mr. A. One example. Example. This example will continue. So I am going to give you several examples. Information in one example we need for the second example. So remember that. Mr. A introduced dollars. By the way, in ACCA studies, currency dollars. We are using dollars. Dollars 10,000 to a business bank account to commence meaning start. To commence a vegetable outlet. You want to start a vegetable shop. In Doha, good business now. Baha.
Yes.
Shall we start together? If afraid. Okay. So, Mr. A,
A vegetable what?
outlet. Outlet yani dukan, shop. Mr. A introduced 10,000 to a business bank account to commence a vegetable outlet. Now, what we should do? We should convert this into our equation. We should write asset is equal to capital and we should find out what are the type of asset and how much. And we also should find out how much is the capital? Can we try this without my help? Can you all try please? How much is asset? Please write down asset is equal to capital. Okay? And then write the answer please. Asset is equal to capital. And then I need, what is the asset you have in this example? In this example, what is the asset you have?
Cash.
Where? Cash where?
Cash at bank.
Cash at bank. So this gentleman has gone to the bank and deposited 10,000 and he wanted to start the vegetable outlet. So under asset, type of asset you have is cash at bank is equal to how much? 10,000 and then equal sign capital how much?
10,000.
Capital, who's the owner's capital? So you write it like this. Cash at
Bank.
bank. 10,000 is equal to owner's capital.
This owner's capital, we can say equity capital.
I don't want to talk equity now
Yeah.
because a bit too early. We will come to equity little later. Okay? So now we will just try to understand capital only, the word capital. So is that clear? This is a very first and foremost example. By the way, there is a book. There is a book written by a person called Frank Wood. Okay? A basic accounting book. I have the PDF with me. I can share with you all when you have free time. If you want to understand the accounting from the grassroots, this is a very good book. But this is not ACCA syllabus. That's a common book. Maybe 700 pages. Okay, starting with 0, it will go up to 1000. Not 100, even 1000 is going. See, I am a science student. My background, I am a science student. I did A-level science 3 times. I wanted to become a doctor, but I couldn't succeed. Then, different question came. What career are you going to choose? Someone told me, okay, go to Saudi, work as house driver. And then he took me to a driving license place to take driving license. Another person said, no, you go to Japan. Someone said, no, go to north of Sri Lanka, work in a shop as a cashier. And somebody said, study chemistry. End up, one man told me, study accounting. Then I chose accounting. Then A-level science student don't understand accounting at all. It's like a magic. It's like a black magic. Shunya magic. We are not understand anything. And then one teacher gave this book. Only thing, in simple English, very small example, little by little he will teach. So I have the PDF. Later I will share in the group. Whenever you have free time, please go through it in addition to our discussion. The book that I gave you now is only for our exam. That is to get 50 marks or more. And with my teaching, this classroom you attend, that is more than enough. But for your knowledge, that book is very good. Anyway, so this is the first example. Now we will expand the equation now. So now when Mr. A want to run this vegetable shop, he had how much now cash? 10,000. He deposited that money in the bank. Now if he go and purchase entire 10,000 vegetable, can he manage the business? He need other expenses that can this no. He need a trolley, he need labor, or he need another some weighing scale machine, something like this. So what he did, he tried to find a friend who is doing a vegetable wholesale business. He called him, my friend, I am starting a vegetable shop. Can you please give me some vegetable for credit? He said, okay, no problem. I will give now for 3 months. You buy the vegetable, sell it, after 3 months, you pay me. Now the story of liability comes to the picture. Next example, next equation. Asset is equal to capital plus liability. Okay, now we need to define what this liability is. In Arabic, what you call liability?
التزامات.
Hmm?
الالتزامات.
So now we need to define what the liability is. Now capital is what? Capital also a liability, but to whom? Owner. This is resources we brought to the business, but is the owner is the who is owning this? No, third party. So any resources which are brought to the business for which owner has no ownership, those are known as liability. So let's write it down. An obligation to be settled in the future as a result of past transaction. I will complete writing, then I will explain you, okay? Which require future transfer
As a result,
of past transaction, which require future transfer of economic resources. I will now go to the beginning. Right. An obligation. What do you mean by the word obligation in English? It's like a commitment. It's like under condition. It's like under some like you sign a contract that you need to do this. So it's an obligation for me to be settled in the future. This my friend who gave me vegetables today. But what the condition, what the expectation? That I should settle this in 3 months' time. So that means the word future. An obligation to be settled in the future. Why? Why should I pay after 3 months?
For the past one.
Because he gave me vegetables. When? Today or yesterday or last week. Meaning in the past. And the past transaction. Which require. What is required now? In 3 months' time, let's say I purchase for $15,000. In 3 months' time, how much I need to pay? If at all I will pay, 15,000 I need to pay. Understand me? So that is future transfer of economic resources. You need to transfer by cash, by money, by some resources, by some assets. This is what the meaning of liability. Now even for assets, a similar definition we can develop this, like resources owned today in the business as a result of a past transaction. Now when I open this door, come inside this office, suddenly can I see this table here? Like in that, some small time story, the mother is saying, no, the things have come from the roof, will come like that. No, I need to go to a furniture shop and I need to purchase this. Some lorry has to come and then they need to bring and fix it. So there should have been a past transaction. And which will bring, if it is asset. Now when I am keeping this table here, suppose I don't have any furniture here. Now you all come to study here. I am telling you, okay, sit down in the floor. Would you be sitting? If at all you are very kind enough, you will do it. But from a very business point of view, would you be doing this? But nonsense. Are you joking with us? No one will be willing to sit here. So keeping this table, helping me what? Generating this tuition income. So those assets should be with me. That should bring what? Economic benefits in the future. And who should own this? The owner must own or owner must control. Clear, no? Right, now let's continue the example. Mr. A, example 2. Mr. A purchased 20,000 worth of vegetables from one of his friends.
20,000 words.
20,000 worth, W-O-R-T-H. Worth means value. Worth of vegetables
Vegetables.
from one of his friends to be paid in 3 months time. Friends to be paid in 3 months time. Now we need to combine this example to this equation now. Can we try that now? See, I have assets. Under asset, already I have what? Before I
Cash and
purchase these vegetables, what is the asset I have?
Cash and
Cash. So cash at bank, how much? 10,000. Now what is the new asset coming into the business?
Inventory.
Inventory. That vegetables, see, now what business is doing? He is buying and selling vegetable. So, the vegetable is the main trading item. So, it is the inventory for him. So, you have to carefully understand what is this item called inventory. Inventories are items that we buy for the purpose of resale. So, suppose this table I purchased. Can I call that as an inventory? No. But if I am doing a furniture shop, then if I buy this table, then that is an inventory. Now I buy a motor vehicle. Can I call that as an inventory? No. But Abdul Ghani, they buy a Toyota Corolla car, that is an inventory. So first you need to understand the nature of the business, then you need to decide whether this is inventory or not an inventory. So now Mr. A is into which business? Buying and selling vegetables. So he purchased vegetables from one of his friends. So that must be inventory. Another word for inventory is what you can say?
Stock.
Stocks. Inventory, stocks. Both are same meaning. Okay. So next item is inventory. How much? 20,000. So what is the total now? Total is 30,000. So, like now capital. Capital is owner's capital. How much is owner's capital? 10,000. Now we have a new item now. Liability. Liability is what?
Trade creditors.
Trade. Sometimes we have different names. Trade creditors, accounts payable, sundry creditors, sundry payables, payables, creditors. You could use anything.
What is the What is the brief explanation for sundry?
Sundry means how would I say? Let's say your main business is buying and selling vegetables, correct? Then you buy vegetable from this friend. The payable to this vegetable the wholesale man is not sundry, it's the trade creditors. Let's say you purchase A4 sheets. A4 sheet is not your main business, but you are buying A4 sheets for you to use in your office for your work, but you buy on credit. Then that becomes a sundry creditors. Miscellaneous is another word. Miscellaneous creditors, sundry creditors. You understood, you? Yes, sir. So, depending on the nature of the business, you need to decide. Now, sometime in garage, the garage, their spare part, if they buy, that becomes the main trade creditors. But if they also buy grease or some bolt and nuts or some wires for the local use, And if they purchase that on credit, then that becomes sundry.
So this means based on prime or business.
The reason or the nature of the business, it varies. Clear? You understood? You okay? Right. So owner's capital 10,000, trade creditors 20,000, and now we take the total. The total now how much? 30. Always this total should be equal to this total. The movement, the point where this becomes 30,001 and this becomes 29,999, then there is some mushkila. It's like that scale. It always the right side total must be equal to the left side total. Okay, so this is how our accounting is developed. Later we are going to talk about double entry. Double entry introduced by whom? Anyone knows? There's a guy called Luca Pacioli. His name is Luca Pacioli.
Is Italian or?
Greek, I think. Greece. Or Greece or South American. We can check now. What's the problem? Thanks to Baha, he gave it to
Name
us.
stands.
Italian. This man. He put all of us in trouble. Thinking debit and credit and blah blah blah. And another story, Isaac Newton. Who is Isaac Newton? This who came up with the three.
Every action has a reaction.
Every action has
A reaction.
equal and opposite reaction. And also F is equal to MA. This is also one of his law. That's science. Third law is every action has equal and opposite reaction. If someone is slapping on your face, one part only we feel the pain here. But you also should realize same amount of pain on his hand. That's what this says. So, from a what you call understanding point of view, this Luca Pacioli and this Isaac Newton are cousin brothers. You know what happened? A small story. There is a apple tree. This is the apple, according to my drawing skills. Okay? This is the apple, and this man sitting here. Who is this guy? Is Mr. Isaac Newton. I will write the name, otherwise you will don't know. Isaac Newton. He is sitting and worried and thinking what to do, and was thinking. Suddenly this apple fall onto his head. See the size of the apple and the head. If this apple falls on his head, he would have died. But the apple is very small, head is big. So anyway, then only he found out every action has equal and opposite reaction. He shouted. On the other side of the tree, this Mr. Luca Pacioli was there. He is overhearing what this guy doing. He is watching and waiting what this fellow is doing. And when he shouted, every action has equal and opposite reaction, then he said, aha, my cousin brother has came up with some law, I also should come up with something. What the law he came up with, every transaction has twofold effect. Twofold effect. Giving effect and receiving effect. What do you mean by that? You go and buy a water bottle, you pay 2 riyal. You are losing something, are you? You are losing your 2 riyals. But are you receiving something? You are receiving the water bottle, isn't it?
Water.
So, yeah, water or water bottle. So, every single transaction, everybody will have a twofold effect. I am receiving water and I am losing the cash. From the shopman's point of view, he is losing what? Water and he is receiving cash. Yeah, money. So, the same similar scenario to this Isaac Newton's third law. So, and also you see, when you open like this and wait, your right hand side is debit and your left hand side is credit. And always this should be equal. If it goes like this or this, finished. Then your accounting is over. Is that clear? So, we will study double entry later, but this person only made, with the arrangement of Allah, if he is not come up with this inventions, today we are not sitting and studying this. Our profession would have been something else. Allah, we don't know. So anyway, coming back. So now this example is clear?
Yes.
Okay, now let's continue with how I will categorize the assets. Can you tell me how many types we can categorize assets? I've already written two lines,
Basically two.
so it should be two. But can you tell me what are those two?
Fixed asset and current asset.
That's the old classification. We have a new classification now. Brother, you should be able to tell me.
Tangible assets and intangible.
No. That means I believe you are not reading the financial statement. You say yes, sir.
I know that, yeah.
You're asking what's meaning or what?
See. There I am now telling you assets are divided into two headings. My question to you, what are those headings? Last year you received Doha Project's vertical financial statement. Haven't you read this?
Yes.
Then you should know this. There are two headings. One is non-current asset.
Current asset and non-current.
Now remember. And current.
So fixed assets is gone?
Kalas. Fixed asset didn't go. It is still there,
Yeah.
but they brought it under this heading.
This one from one of these friends to be based
Not finished. This example, yeah. This
Yeah,
was this example.
in a
Yeah.
bed
Paid in 3 months.
3 months.
Yeah. Okay. Now we will continue. Right. How to define this? What is non-current asset? Okay, everything good. I'm worried about the battery. So, what is non-current asset?
Which is used for the business on a long term.
Yeah, when you use the word long term, can you put a slab? The long term is how long?
More than 1 year.
Yeah, more than any assets with us which will be there, which will bring economic. What is asset? Asset should bring economic benefits. For any of those assets which is going to bring me economic benefits for a period exceeding 12 months are known as non-current assets. So those assets whose economic benefits which is limited to maximum of 12 months are current assets. Now can you think of example of current assets? What are the examples for current assets? Cash in hand, cash at bank,
Stock.
inventory,
Customers.
receivables, yes, customers, receivables. One more.
Work in progress.
Yeah, work in progress. That you can bring it under inventory. Prepayments.
Prepayments.
You know prepayments, right?
Advance payment.
Yes.
Tell him now.
اللي مثلا سلف الموظفين عمل كده.
Understood. Prepayments. Like when I receive electricity bill, I bill 1,900 riyals. Now I sent my driver, I give 2,000. I tell him pay 2,000. So month of January, I pay 2,000, but actual expense for me 1,900. So electricity department, my money, how much they have now?
8.
No. 1,900 is the bill. Okay, I gave 2,000 to this man.
2,900.
No, Habibi. The actual bill is 1,900. Okay,
لما نثبتها آخر الشهر.
1,900 is the electricity bill I got.
Okay.
I gave Ansari 2,000.
Okay.
I tell him to go and pay. So he paid 2,000 and came. Now my question to you, with the Karana, how much my money is with them?
100.
That 100 is what you call prepayments. This will be used in the next month bill.
Yes.
So these are the examples for current asset. Now can we write down then? We will define both. First we will define non-current asset. Non-current.
Current assets دي يقصد الأصول الثابتة.
يعني لا نون كرنت اسيت. كرنت اسيت دي اللي هي الأصول المتداولة زي العملاء والكاش
Any
والنون اللي هي
النون اللي هي المفروض الثابتة بيقول عليها.
any assets whose benefit we will get for a period more than 12 months, exceeding 12 months,
more than 1 year يعني.
non-current. Now this table, when you buy this table will be with me for like the next 10 years. So there is more than 1 year, then that becomes non-current asset. Clear? So
The question is,
Yeah.
12 months defined by who?
that's very good question. Actually, those accounting books, they don't say 12 months. They say one accounting cycle.
One accounting period.
Yeah, one accounting period or one accounting cycle. Sometimes 15 months also one accounting cycle. But now they have become like it's actually after this IFRS, International Financial Reporting Standards, and IASB, International Accounting Standards Board, they came up with this benchmark, 12 months. So, and also, you know, that calendar.
Yeah.
That calendar is introduced by someone that we don't know how it came in 24 hours. And we just look at our watch and we say 24 hours. If they change this to without 60 minutes, if they make it to 80 minutes? Who knows? In Sri Lanka what they did, you remember they changed the time. In Sri Lanka what happened, like for example to now time, now what's the time now? 5 o'clock. They suddenly changed the clock to 4:30. Half an hour before. Something like that. So this is human made things. So we just follow the suit. That's it. So anyway, non-current assets are resources whose economic benefit will be flowing to the entity, for a period exceeding So this is what you call non-current assets. These are resources, belongs to the business, but the economic benefit. Now for a business, we have no reason to keep any assets without any benefit. So now let me say, for example, in my home, I have some unwanted stuff. I don't have space to keep in my home. So I take a lorry, put everything there and bring it to my business and keep it here. Is any business logic is there? No. Even single dustbin or a broomstick we are keeping in our business, that should work for the business. Otherwise no point. So these resources should bring economic benefits. But condition is what? But it's a very important condition. That condition is that it should exceed period of 12 months. Exceeding 12 months. Example. Can you write example now? Many examples. Land, building, motor vehicle, plant. I also. What about goodwill? Yeah, sir. Do you know what is goodwill?
Yes, like goodwill.
Like now, someone want to buy perfume.
Hmm.
Now, Ayan perfume also there, Hadara perfume also there.
اسم الشهرة يعني the name of
Name also, exactly. See, now Ayan perfume also there, Hadara perfume also. The one customer on the road, what the mind is comes, okay, Hadara is good, so he goes to Hadara. So the Hadara business has developed or grown with some reputation.
trading name or famous
Yeah,
name.
trading name is, see, goodwill is like this. This is goodwill, huh?
goodwill اسم الشهرة أو يعني.
Okay, inside you have so many subheadings: trade name, patent, royalty, like that. Because of that, you see, customer list. Now you have 200 customers. He has 5,000 customers. So that has a big difference, right? Now, suppose when you want to sell your business and his business, the price will be different because of the customer list. And you know, restaurants. Now, when I want to have a fried chicken, when you want to take your family to have a fried chicken, what is the chicken?
First KFC.
Immediately it comes KFC. But do you think it's really tasty? 200% sure it's not that tasty. But by the side Kerala man shop, maybe chicken is tasty. But we don't want to go. Our mind is not letting us to go there. Because we have prestige. We need to go and sit in the KFC and then take a selfie and upload in Instagram, and this type of mindset is developed. So that is developed because of the goodwill. For that goodwill only they are paying huge money. Understand me? Now DHL. When it comes to courier service, any business you can think in that sense. You know, auditing firms. When you talk about auditing firm, Ernst & Young, KPMG, Pricewaterhouse. Now you ask a quotation for an auditing service with KPMG and from another normal audit firm, you might find a difference of 100,000.
Okay. Can I say it as reputation?
Obviously. Reputation is the starting point for goodwill. Someone need to trust that this business or this person will deliver. Like for example, you 5 people trusted me to come and study here. That means that I have grown up with certain amount of reputation or a trust among you all. If you don't trust me, see, when you came to pay the fees to me, you don't know how I am teaching. And you know that when you pay the money, khalas, the money is gone. Next day you come and ask me money, I am not going to give you back. But I am going to say, no, you come to class and you have returned one. If you don't want to come, masalam. But you kept the trust and paid. That trust is developing how? Through the reputation, through the growth, through the trust that we build. That build is what you call goodwill. Goodwill also another example of asset. But can you touch the goodwill? No. Then what is the name we can give for that? One more thing. Any research, any non-current research where you can touch and feel, there is a special name for that. Tangible. We call it. These all are tangible. Meaning you can touch and feel. Whereas goodwill, it is an asset that brings resources. See, the definition of asset is what? Those resources should bring economic benefits in the future. Because I have goodwill, I am getting economic benefits or not? Obviously yes. But can I see the goodwill? No, it's in the cloud, it's in the air. Any special business like that only. Now for example, stationery business. You see, when we wanted to purchase, I wanted to buy a binding machine. Recently happened, Jason knows. So when I wanted to buy binding machine, I was checking with some shops. My partner told me, no, don't go anywhere, go to Almaraf. When you go inside Almaraf, it's the same thing that another shop is there. But the name they have built. So that's the good. Understood. So this non-current asset, one example of non-current asset is tangible non-current asset. Another example is intangible non-current asset. Under that main example is goodwill. No, more than goodwill, we have also something called Royalty. What is royalty? Like don't steal.
Royalty is fees that we pay for like an intellectual
Hmm,
property.
exactly. Now let's say I'm writing a book.
ما هي حول ملكية أساسا؟ reality.
Not reality, royalty.
Royalty.
See, listen to this story. Let's say I'm writing a book. I am a book writer. But I don't have a facility to print. You have a printing press. I come to you. I tell you, my friend Baha, I have written this book. Why not you print and sell to the public? You will own the book because you are publishing it.
This نعرف حقوق الملكية.
Is it the same what this is?
Yeah.
So,
I'm sure.
whenever
You told me if you type one book or some idea. This
that's what
special-
it, exactly
special rule.
special. We call it intellectual property. We call it intellectual property. That is royalty. We also have patent, special permission, like this McDonald. Have you seen that with the R mark in the signboard on top? They have written this R mark. That's registered. That's a patent. That no one else can use it. So when you happen to use this, you then have to pay some money. So that is patent. Also we have trademark, copyright, all these part of intangible assets. So you have tangible assets, tangible non-current assets and intangible non-current assets. One more thing also there, long-term investments. That also one example for non-current assets. So long-term investment. What do you mean by that? Let's say you have like 2 million riyals in your hand. You have nothing to do. You go to a bank and deposit as a fixed deposit. Or you buy shares from a company and you don't buy and sell. You buy shares, keep it with you. Or you buy a land. What is the purpose of buying this land? After 5 years or after 10 years, you want to sell. If you do this type of investment, these are known as long-term investments. Inshallah, when we progressing our discussion, later when we study accounting standard, there is a separate standard for this. That we will discuss at that point. For the time being, just understand like this. So, if I try to categorize your non-current asset, how many categories I can do?
2. Tangible and intangible.
Tangible, and long-term investments. So you have tangible, non-current asset, intangible, non-current asset and long-term investment. Just to reflect what Mr. Fahmy brother said about the fixed assets, this comes here. You call it tangible fixed assets. Tangible non-current asset, intangible non-current asset and long-term investments.
In the financial reporting, these names will be reflected.
This is the format in which we are going to follow. I am just using the format as per IAS 1. What is IAS? Full form for IAS?
International Accounting Standard.
International Accounting Standard. We are going to study that later. And I am now using this basics in line with the way IAS 1 is saying. Understood?
What is this IAS?
IAS is International Accounting Standards. That is like rules. Exactly. So we wanted to follow this rule in organizing this. I am doing that way. But here I am not referring to this because it is a bit too early for us. Okay, now this is non-current asset. Now we also categorized current asset, right? Now this is non-current asset. Now we will define current asset. I will change the pen. Ink is finishing, no? define current asset now. Now, if you clearly understood what is non-current asset, then opposite of that is current asset. Any resources available in the business which will bring economic benefits for a period
Less than 12.
not less than 12 months or not exceeding 12 months. Can you write that down, please? Any resources available within the business which will bring economic. My writing is okay for all of you? Or same like doctor's writing?
No, okay.
No, okay. I have to keep Mr. Yasir very happy. He's our special guest.
Thank you.
Economic benefits for a period not exceeding 12 months. Cards. So now we then have to reflect and understand. Now try to bring examples for this. Without it. Cash in hand, cash at bank, inventory, receivables, prepayments. Only that. I can't be like you. Sometimes you can also have short-term deposit, short-term investment. So can you write down examples? Cash in hand, cash at bank, prepayments, receivables, short-term deposit, inventory. Now this one, little bit special. This one. The others we know. Cash in hand we know. Cash at bank we know. Prepayments, you understood prepayments, no?
الليلة ده أساسا مدفوعات ولا قصده إيه؟
Prepayments. That the 1,900, 2,000 example I gave you. That is prepayments.
Yeah.
Receivable? Understood. Okay. Inventory? No. Okay. Now what is this? Like for example, I have some, let's say end of the month, 31st of January, in my bank I have like 50,000 cash, surplus cash. I am not in hurry with this 50,000 for the next 1 week. So my bank has a type of option where I can deposit this money and generate some interest income. So earning interest is a different problem, whether it is allowed or not allowed is a different argument. But the bank is giving that option. So as a businessman, what I then now am doing, I am depositing this money in that account. I am giving a instruction to the bank. Whenever I have surplus cash, transfer to that account. So it will not in my current account, but in my deposit account. But whenever I need money, automatically you transfer from that account to this account without any condition, without any obligation, without any surcharge. So this type of deposit is known as short term.
Can you give example for this one?
This short term deposit. Now, see, if I have in our business, end of January,
Okay.
I have 50,000 cash in my hand.
Aldana deposits. Aldana deposits.
Yes.
The bank.
Now, Aldana deposit, exactly. Aldana, you know Aldana deposit? Aldana.
The bank. You cash deposit certificate they will give.
Exactly. See, you listen to the story now. In my business, end of 31st December or 31st January, end of my month, I got 50,000 cash.
Okay.
I am not checking my requirements, supply payments, salaries, rent, all I have already paid. This cash is extra. And also I don't need to buy or this is for the next 2 weeks. No requirement. So then I think, let me make some benefit of this money. I speak to the bank. Bank said that okay, we have an option called short term, overnight, call, different name they give, deposit. You choose one of them. You give a letter. Owner has to write a letter, standing order letter. Every time I am having some extra cash, automatically transfer to that. That will be sitting in the bank account in a different category.
Yes.
Every day it will generate interest.
Okay.
Then after 1 week you need a supply payment. You need 25,000 riyal. So you write an email or some instruction, then they will transfer. This type of deposit is known as short term. One good example is Aldana deposit. They will give a certificate. Anytime you know, but see the difference between this and the fixed deposit you can't withdraw as you like. You have to request, you have to surrender, then you need to forego some of the earnings. So many conditions. But this is not like that. Without any conditions, you just transfer to another account which will give you extra money. Current account, if you keep the money, there's no extra income coming, right? So this is the scenario.
Okay.
So these all are examples for current asset. Now
Saving account also we can say.
saving account is part of deposit
Short
account.
term.
Yeah, exactly. So now we have discussed current asset and non-current. Now what about the monthly place now?
Still,
Time or still?
10 minutes there.
We will stop at monthly place and then after place we will continue.
Okay.
Okay? And that time you stop the video. Right. So now we discussed the category of the asset into two. What are the category? Assets are categorized as to current and non-current. Same like liabilities. What do you think? How many categories we can categorize? Same thing. Current and non-current liabilities. Now let's define that. Or now categorize liabilities now. Mr. Baha,
Yes.
you are okay?
Okay.
Very good. He is the owner of this place. We have to be very careful with him. So we have taken water without your permission from this kitchen.
This will be nice. No problem.
So liability also we divided into two. What are the categories? Non-current liability and current liability. Non-current liability and current liability. That's going good. Right. So now how to define the non-current liability? If you having understood non-current asset, now you should be able to tell me what is non-current liability. Mr. Asif, can you tell me? You understood what is liability, right?
Yes.
Okay, now tell me what is non-current liability. Example, give me example.
Okay. I will.
انت فكر اوكي ما في مشكله بها
This none, you're asking you what's meaning or?
Give me example also fine. One example for non-current liability.
Which we have to pay more than within the period.
Any liability you can wait for a period more than 12 months. What is a good example for that?
Long-term loan.
Long-term loan, bank loan, kalas. Now when you take a bank loan, they are not going to ask you within 6 months. They will say, okay, pay us in 3 years, or 4 years, or 5 years. Wait, car lease,
3 years.
3 years, 4 years, 5 years.
Starting from.
So the condition is what? All those liabilities you have to pay a period exceeding 12 months. Then that is non-current liability. What about current liability then?
Within 2 months.
Introduce expenses also? Or
Not expenses, liabilities. It could be because of expense. Yes. My condition is, now do you understand what the meaning of word liability now?
I mean, some like rent for 2 years more, some like 24, 25.
Possible.
Mm.
Yes. But before that, Mr. Baha, do you understand this word? Liability?
Liabilities I know.
You understood, right? Now, what we are now doing is we are categorizing this into 2 headings. One, we are saying non-current liability, meaning those amounts we need to pay only after 12 months. Bank loan, lease, debenture, those are examples. But current liability, those liability you need to pay within a 12 months period.
So
Before that you need to pay
Salaries.
salaries,
Monthly rent.
yeah, monthly rent. What about
Electricity.
electricity? Yes, those. And what about trade creditors? Now this our friend who gave us vegetable. How long I can wait?
3 months.
3 months. If I wait for 3 years, what will happen? Definitely on the 4th month, first day he will come with a knife. He will not be any more friend. Kalas. Friendship finished.
Bank OD facility.
Bank OD also current liability. Bank OD also current liability.
Bankrupt.
OD, overdraft.
Mm.
Supply payment.
Supply payables, not payments, payables. Bank overdraft, how to say in Arabic?
Bank.
Overdraft.
Draft يعني
Yani, so, like this. Now I have 500,000 in my current account. I have taken 600,000 from the bank. My money 500,000, but the bank gave me 600.
Facility.
So 100,000, they give me extra.
mm.
That facility.
OD
Is
facility.
the OD, overdraft we call it in English. So that is bank overdraft. So these are the examples. Now let's define non-current liability. All those obligations can be settled in a period. In a period exceeding 12 months. Are known as non-current liability. Example, bank loan. Sometimes we call it long-term loan also. They use the different word, long term loan. We also have debenture. In UK, in English, British style, they use this word. But the same in US, they use stocks and bonds. Not James Bond. Huh?
Debenture, what is the...
Debenture is like this, brother. Let's say I need 1 million real for my business. I go and ask my owner, the owner. He says, Kalas, I don't have. But we need this money. Then what we do is, we advertise in the paper. We say that we are in need of 1 million real. But we don't say 1 million. What we say is that we divide the 1 million into 100 real pieces. So, if you divide 1 million,
Like shares? Or
same like shares. Not the shareholder. He will not a shareholder. We
The
call
ownership is
him a debenture holder. So you divide by 100. So how many pieces will come? 10,000 pieces will come, right? So 10,000 debentures you will sell. One debenture, how much you are going to sell?
100.
For 100. And what is the benefit for you? We say that every debenture you purchase, we give you 8%. And then later we are going to study financial management and all that, income tax and all that. This interest is subject to tax. Dividends for the owner is not subject to tax. That we will discuss later, inshallah. For the time being, for the sake of understanding, it is also one example of non-current liability. So once you purchase, you will not become a permanent shareholder in my business. This 1 million I need only for next 3 years for one project. Metro project, for example. I am also doing a subcontract. Metro, this train company gave me to do one subcontract for some work. I need 1 million now. But I don't have this cash. So I call, yeah, you will ask something.
It's okay.
So I call people who give me this money. So I keep their register. Mr. Adil, Mr. Rashid, Mr. Jaber, and all that list I maintain in an Excel sheet or a system. Then every year I pay interest. At the third year, I will pay the interest and
Plus
that amount what he give me.
we have exercise we are doing for the projects
Yeah.
with the banks.
Okay.
This is a bank bond, like advance payment bond or performance bond.
Same like that.
Something
Yeah, same like this, yes.
They give
Some money to you, performance bond.
Performance.
Yeah, that's also non-current liability. That the condition
It
yes,
is the
similar to this.
that we are taking from outside. This one we are taking from the bank.
Obviously.
So when we say bank loan, long-term loan,
Yeah.
it is not only bank loan, long-term maybe.
Could be. Yeah, generally bank loan, they are naming it as long-term loan, but you can take long-term loan from some private companies also. Finance company, some trading company, your parent company, your fellow company, possible.
And again, when it's come to like letter of LG,
Letter of guarantee.
falling into because there are periods also.
That see, the letter of guarantee is not an immediate liability.
Yeah.
It's what you call contingent liability.
Currently.
We will discuss about contingent liability later. To give a good example of a contingency, there is a word called contingency. Okay. See this roof, this wall. No, on this wall, if you see a cat standing there, in many of our life, we see these cats sitting on the such wall. We call it parapet wall. Correct? Parapet wall. What I mean, in a house, this is your house. The rounding there is a wall, no, to boundary. On top, you will see a cat. Sometimes cat is waiting there. My question is, can you give a written guarantee that the cat is going to jump this side or this side? Can you say that? You can't say that. That is exactly the meaning of the word contingency. Now, with weather forecast, how they read? Tomorrow rain could come or could not come.
Probability.
Yeah, probability. That probability is exactly the contingency. So the letter of guarantee later, inshallah, when we study IAS 37 provisions, contingent liabilities and contingent asset, we will discuss in detail.
IAS
37. Okay, so those really interesting topics, but it will take some time to reach there. But for the time being, just understand as good example, that is a contingent liability. Okay, so this house, okay. Now we have written all the examples for non-current liabilities, and then what about current? We will define current liabilities now. All such obligations to be settled a period not exceeding Adhan, right?
Yeah.
Was it?